What's up, everyone, and welcome to the newest edition of the Toy Room Renovation right here on YouTube. I am your host, Albert Albanese. This is the Slam Sessions Network, and we are here once again back in my toy room looking around to see what we can do to make a little bit of a difference up here. To start this episode off, usually, you know, the first thing I do is talk about my purchases, but unfortunately, no purchases this week. I have a couple things pre-ordered, and I'm waiting for some stuff to come in, but unfortunately, nothing came in this week. So hopefully that means that I can get some considerable amount of work done on revamping some parts of my collection. So I'm going to sit back, go through a whole bunch of stuff, and then I'm going to show you guys what I've been up to. So the first thing that I did today was that I added the Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus 2-pack here to my AEW shelf. So let me get a little closer here. It's a little bit dangerous of how I have to do this. There you can see Jungle Boy on the shoulders of Luchasaurus. Over here we still have the Bucks in the front, and then the Lucha Bros, the first ever AEW Tag Team Champions, SCU, there in the back. On this side, we have the Dark Order and the Best Friends. So these guys kind of fit right in. I know that they're not a team anymore, but, you know, this is more of a celebration of the AEW talent as they came in, and I like that we can have Jungle Boy on Luchasaurus' shoulders like this. It's actually a really cool pose. Okay, so I know that for the past few weeks, all I've been saying is that I need to take these shelves down and replace them. These guys were all supposed to come down, being moved over here. And then these guys were going to come up and be moved over here. But being that I don't have the materials to build the shelves for the other thing, I've just kind of started opening some other people and seeing if I can kind of fit them in. So it looks to me like I can, because I fit in this Mr. T here in the front next to Piper, and between him and Warrior. See Jake's head peeking in the background. And then on the opposite side, I put this Zeus up here. You can see him right behind the big boss man. So I know I'm supposed to be taking these shelves down, but these figures were so cool. I figured, why not open them, see what they look like, see how well it, you know, kind of looks, and then we'll take it from there and see if, you know, it makes sense to just put them out. And you know what? They look cool. They fit. So I figured, screw it. I'm going to put them in there. Zeus and Mr. T both look awesome. They both have the super cool accessories with them. And I think they fit really well on this shelf with everybody else. I also added this Hurricane to the post Ruthless Aggression shelf. This is, you know, that shelf that's kind of like borderlining on, you know, the beginning of Ruthless Aggression towards the end of the Ruthless Aggression era. And this Hurricane was the ECW Hurricane, so it kind of fits in. And maybe it's a little bit later than this, but I kind of like him on this shelf. He was around at this time, even if this version wasn't around at this exact same time. But I think he kind of fits really well in here. And I also added to the wall of Jericho. As you can see in the back, right, that's a little bit of the bubbly, but right next to him on the right-hand side, right there, is the one of 3,000 Chris Jericho. So I had bought two of them, one to open and one to keep mint on card. You can see this Jericho I took out, which is an awesome Jericho. I love the shirt. It comes with a little scarf there, too, on his neck, and Floyd the baseball bat. And then I have the same version of that right here on card. So I got one of each, and I really like that this is kind of just turned into the AEW Jericho shelf. I think these all kind of look really good up here.
Now this may be the coolest piece that I put out today. I added this to my miscellaneous shelf. This is the Blood and Guts CM Punk versus MJF. Look at how badass this looks. Punk pouring blood, being choked out by the chain that he's got across his chest there. He's on his knees as MJF is on the back, choking him out. Punk's got the blood dripping all the way down his chest to his pants. MJF's got the blood all on his head, down his chest too. The gear here is sick. The look is sick. I love the heads on there. They both look really cool with the screaming face on. Man, this is just one of the coolest sets that's ever been made in, I think, maybe wrestling figure history. Just the blood makes it so different. The chain being so realistic makes it so cool. I love what AEW is doing with these Blood and Gut sets, and this one in particular may be one of the best sets that has ever come out, and it looks even better once you take it out of the package. This is going to be proudly displayed in my collection for years to come, despite the fact that I have an MJF figure already in my AEW collection. This was just a must-have. This is why it's on the miscellaneous shelf, and I love the way this looks.
All right, and I know this is a pretty brief one, but that'll do it for this week's episode. So as you can see, I got some stuff done, got some stuff out, put some stuff away, but, you know, the current
thing that I have going on right now is I really need to make more room or find more room to put out some of these other figures that I have. Now, I'll show you real quick what I have left to put out. It's actually, if you guys remember from a couple of weeks ago where it looked really bad, it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So let's take a look real quick. So this is the stuff that I have left to go out. The middle one is all old school WCW guys, so I need to find a spot to put all of those guys. On the left, it's a combination of a bunch of different things. There's some guys that are from the Attitude Era in there, some guys from ECW in there, some guys from current WWE that have to kind of go out. So I kind of have to figure out what I'm going to do with a lot of those guys because there isn't really a specific spot in my collection for some of them. And, you know, so as you can see on the top, that's actually Cactus Jack. I have the perfect spot for him. He just doesn't fit on the shelf that I have for him. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with the ECW guys to get that cactus in there, and then probably figure out where I'm going to put some of these other guys because it's getting a little bit tight in here. You can see on the right here, these are all guys that are going to inevitably go up on that other shelf. As you can see, Ted DiBiase will probably replace the other Ted DiBiase that I have up there, or I'll add that into a different spot into my collection. Dynamite's going to go right next to Davey Boy. That Hogan's going to end up being one of the ones that I use either for the championship showcase or for a different spot. I've been considering putting that one in the entryway on this setup over here. And the reason why I've been thinking about doing it is because I want to take this other Hogan and put it out for the championship showcase shelf. So I'm considering putting that other Hogan in the entryway in the camo. I don't know if he came out of this, but whatever. I mean, it kind of look cool. So I think I might actually do that and move that Hogan over eventually. And the other ones here, Harley Race and Dusty Rhodes, will go up on those other shelves when I have the room. But I have a lot of guys pretty much now put away. The big problem is over here. I have to get all of these guys. You can see the guys in the front in this area right here. This is the World Heavyweight Championship shelf, except for Roman and Brock. They're the WWE Championship shelf. These guys are all WWE champions. So you can see all of these guys are all going to have to now come out of here, including these guys here in package as a Batista, a Hogan, and who's the third person underneath there? Can I see? Oh, it's a Warrior that all have to go. Big Boss Man just fell off my shelf. What are you doing? Look at that. See? You get a live-in look at me putting some stuff back up here. Watch him not stay now. Yeah, he's not going to. I'm going to have to fiddle around with him to get him to fit back. All right, we'll do that in a second. But, yeah, so all of these guys got to come up off the floor. They've all got to be integrated into these shelves. All of these guys have to come down. They've got to be integrated into these shelves. But I need all the wood to get all this done. I'm also very heavily considering putting up a fourth layer back here. Once I get all these guys down, I might actually see if I can add another layer to this, because I think you might have enough room for their heads to kind of peek out above. So if I can do that, that adds another shelf there, and that should really look good for the championship showcase stuff. I've also been considering figuring out how to get some lighting in here, like underneath, maybe some LED lighting underneath that I can kind of control remotely from my phone to kind of keep on for when I need it so that it'll look a little bit better. But that's kind of the idea of what I have going on now. I don't think I can fit another layer up here. As you can see, they're really like at the top. I mean, Animal looks really close to the top. It's actually not as bad. Like, it almost looks like the Warlord there on the right-hand side, his head's touching, but he's not. He's right underneath, so I don't have enough room for that. And then down here, Braun looks like he's, you know, touching too. And he's actually pretty close to touching now that I'm looking at it. So I can't get another layer there, but I might be able to get another layer there up top. You know, the other thing that I was thinking was that if I can, you know, maybe raise this shelf one and see if they all fit, and then raise this shelf one and see if they all, you know, are still okay in there, and then put another layer down here. But we'll see. I'm going to have to play around with it and figure it all out. Being that this shelf is kind of set, I kind of don't want to play with it too much, so I might just add the other layer up top, and that should really cover a lot of the World Heavyweight Champions that I have. At least one incarnation of each. But we'll see how it works out. But with that being said, that brings an end to today's episode. So I'm going to put the Big Boss Man back up on my shelf and get going with some other stuff that I have to do. But don't miss us next week, as I'm going to have hopefully some more stuff to show you, some more additions to be made, and I might actually have to start tearing up that other shelf and start adding some more people in and start making some changes. So maybe next week will be a bigger week. We'll see. Well, depends on how much time I have. But thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for being here. Please like, subscribe, and share. It means the world to me if you guys do that. And I'll see you guys next week.